Can you cook a brisket overnight on an offset smoker and have it ready for dinner the next day without babysitting the fire or touching it at all? Everybody says offset smokers are high maintenance. Add wood every 30 minutes, watch the temperatures constantly, lose sleep during overnight cooks. But I wanted to know, could you load it up with charcoal and wood, go to bed, and then have a perfectly cooked brisket for dinner the next day? To find out, I covered my smoker in bread dough, built the strangest charcoal setup I've ever tried, accidentally started a grease fire, and somehow still had brisket on the table for dinner. But was it actually good? We're gonna find out. I started with a relatively small brisket, right around 10 pounds, trimmed it down to about a 1/4 inch fat cap, slathered it with soy sauce as a binder, hit it with some table salt, and then finished it with some Smoke Trails barbecue brisket rub. The plan is simple. Get the brisket on the smoker around 7 p.m. on Friday night, let it smoke completely unattended overnight and into the next day, and have it ready for dinner by around 5 p.m. on Saturday. So to accomplish that, I needed a good setup on my Oklahoma Joe's Longhorn offset smoker. The first thing I did was I loaded up the charcoal basket in the firebox, as much as I could put into it. I mixed in charcoal, wood chunks, and a few wood splits to provide smoke flavor throughout the cook. And at first glance, yes, that does look like a lot of fuel, but it really isn't. I did some rough calculations, and this basket only holds around 20 pounds of charcoal. For the cook I wanted to do, I'd need closer to 40 pounds to fully cook the brisket. So I needed somewhere to put the rest of the charcoal. My solution was to extend the charcoal fuse out of the firebox and into the main cooking chamber across some extra grates, basically creating a giant charcoal fuse that would slowly burn over the course of the entire cook. At least that was the idea. Here's the finished setup. So I'd light the charcoal basket at the bottom corner, it would burn upwards, then eventually it would ignite the charcoal sitting in the main cooking chamber and slowly burn that into the next day. I wasn't expecting the charcoal in the main chamber to even light before noon the next day. The plan was for it to be basically like a second fuel tank. The brisket should be pretty much cooked just from the charcoal in the firebox. Maybe it'll get up to 165 degrees, and then the charcoal underneath the brisket will finish it and take it to the final finishing temperature, and also provide enough fuel to get me to dinner the next day. Underneath the brisket, I placed a pair of drip pans so the rendered fat wouldn't drip directly onto the coals. Then I placed cookie racks above the pans and set the brisket on top of it. Everything was ready. Now all I had to do was light it. Oh, actually, that's not the last thing I had to do. I had to seal the entire smoker with some bread dough. The main chamber, I put bread dough all along the seams, closed it up, and then put even more bread dough on top of that. And I also sealed the firebox up. Pretty much every seam I could find, I sealed it with bread dough. Bread dough is food safe. It's going to bake onto the smoker and create a tight seal once it gets up to temperature. It's easy to remove. I've done it in the past a lot of times. And the reason I'm doing that is because I have drilled a lot of holes in my smoker. I have used it and abused it. I don't have a very tight seal. So I want to seal up everything completely, kind of like a drum smoker. So when I'm controlling the air that's getting to that charcoal, I only have to use the inlet damper and the exhaust damper. That's the only way that air is going to get in and out. Otherwise, if you have leaks everywhere in your smoker, this isn't going to work because the charcoal is just going to burn and you'll have no control over it. So I lit a little tumbleweed starter at the very bottom of the fire basket around 7 o'clock at night because charcoal takes time to light up and reach the right temperature. And I wanted to have enough time to kind of lock that temperature in before I went to bed overnight. This is the smoke. It's kind of dirty, but that's just from the charcoal lighting up, and it will get cleaner. Now, once the charcoal got established, I was up to around 240 degrees Fahrenheit, things started looking much better. And at that point, I had got up to the temperature I wanted. I kind of locked down on the inlet and exhaust damper so I could lock in that temperature. In reality, it kind of came back down to 180. So I opened up the vents a little bit again, and I got it to around 240 degrees again. And that was where I left my smoker and just went to bed overnight. Is it going to burn at that temperature overnight? I don't know. Hopefully it doesn't go out. And I guess the worst case scenario is it goes up to 400 degrees and starts a huge fire because there's a ton of charcoal in there. I'm hoping none of those scenarios happen though. The next morning I walked outside expecting either really good news or really bad news. Instead, I got something in the middle. The smoker was around 185 degrees Fahrenheit. Not ideal, but still pretty good. The brisket was cooking overnight. I would have hoped that it was cooking somewhere between 225 and 250 overnight. Maybe I should have left my vents open a little bit more, but that's the way things go. And then I checked it again around 9 a.m. in the morning. Okay, it is around 9 a.m. the next morning. We're at 300 degrees now. I'm starting to hear some sizzling inside, so I can't see where the coals are right now in terms of where they're lit, but the sizzling is telling me that the coals are probably lit right underneath the water pans now. I don't know if you guys can hear that. There's a sizzling sound. So I think the coals are probably right here, and there's still probably a little bit of unburnt coals right here. Hopefully. We'll see how it goes. Then at around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, everything was going okay, but the temperatures weren't getting up to the 300-degree finishing temperatures that I wanted, even though I was opening the vents up all the way. So I sprayed some water on the bread dough around the main cooking chamber door, opened it up. It opened up pretty easily. And taking a look at the brisket actually looks good, but if you look underneath it, we can see that, surprise, surprise, the charcoal in the main cooking chamber did not light. Why is that? Well, I took a look at the fire basket, and you can see that the problem is because it was burning from the bottom up, the bottom charcoal was turning to ash and it was lowering the height of the top charcoal. So the top charcoal, when it got lit, it wasn't close enough to that main cooking chamber charcoal fuse to light it. The solution was pretty obvious in hindsight. What I should have done is taken another grate and put it at kind of an angle in the fire basket so that the charcoal up top was supported and it wouldn't all just slide down to the bottom. And then it would create a ramp for it to light up the fuse and then light that charcoal in the main cooking chamber. But I don't know, do you guys have any other solutions? Let me know in the comments below. Okay, next I grabbed my torch and lit the charcoal in the main chamber manually, and then once I got that going, everything actually was going pretty well. The brisket was rising in temperature, and everything was going according to the original plan. A little while later, the smoker was still holding temperatures, the charcoal was burning properly, and the brisket was steadily moving towards the finish line. And at this point, I was feeling pretty good because I was gonna be in time for dinner, but I might have been a little bit too confident. At around 195 degrees internal, I opened up the smoker to check the tenderness of the brisket, and I immediately discovered another problem. After opening the smoker lid for a few seconds, the drip pan caught on fire. Not the brisket, not the smoker, not the charcoal, the fat in the drip pan. Basically what happened is the water in the brisket drippings had all evaporated, leaving just beef tallow in there, which got up to 400 degrees past its smoke point, and then when it was introduced to oxygen, when I opened up the main cooking chamber lid, it lit on fire. The solution was pretty simple. I just closed up the cook chamber lid, and then everything went out. I closed the vents down, lowered the temperatures again, and it was completely fine. But it is a problem though. And I think the solution for that problem, and you guys tell me what you think, but I think next time I would just completely fill up the water pans with water at the start of the cook. And that way there's enough water in there that the water is never going to all evaporate and the oil will never be able to get above its smoke point of 400 degrees because the boiling point of water is 212 degrees. So the oil will never get to that high temperature it needs to combust. Now, once the brisket was finally done, I wrapped it in foil, let it rest for around an hour. Now there's only one question left. After all of that work and effort to do this, was the brisket actually gonna be any good? The brisket certainly looks promising. It has some nice dark bark. Let's cut into it. Cutting into it, yes, it looks pretty juicy, looking pretty good. I don't know about you guys, but I'd eat that brisket, and I did. It tasted really good. It had a nice grilled meat flavor from it, from all of the smoke that was coming off of that burning tallow probably. So was this truly a set and forget offset smoker brisket? Well, not really, but kind of. I mean, I cooked all night and had the brisket smoking overnight and didn't really touch it until 2 p.m. the next day, at which point the brisket was already 170 degrees, had some nice bark, and it was coming along pretty nicely. If that main cooking chamber charcoal had lit properly, then I think this brisket would have basically been able to smoke unattended until basically dinner the next day. Now the big question is, would you guys try this at home, and how would you improve on this method? Let me know in the comment section below, and definitely check out the Oklahoma Joe's Longhorn offset smoker, by the way. This is my favorite smoker for a reason. It's not just because Oklahoma Joe's sponsors me, it's because it holds 2 briskets, it's affordable, it's easy to use, and it is great value for money. I think it's the best value for money for an offset smoker for its size on the market right now, and that is why I use it. So highly recommend it. Check it out and pick one up at Home Depot or on the Oklahoma Joe's website. And until next time, happy smoking.